What's up, guys? It's James here from Smoking UK, where we review, communicate, and educate all things cigars, tobaccos, and pipes. Today, I'm sampling something that's been sat in the humidor for weeks. It's not long actually landed with us here at Smoking. It's not an old cigar at all, but I've been dying to get it cut. I've been dying to get it lit. And of course, I'm talking about the new Partagas Linea Maestra series. This particular size is the Origin, and it looks absolutely stunning. So let's run the intro. Let's get it cut. Let's get it lit. Let's find out what this cigar is all about. Run the intro.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important announcement.
Now, the first thing I want to point out before I get into this review, this cigar normally comes with a footband, which then just adds to its appearance and its overall presentation, which I'll leave videos and images over this point of me talking. However, me being me, when I took the cigar out of the box at Smoking HQ up in Otley Mills to bring back down to the studio here in Swansea, I knocked the footband off and it got lost somewhere and I haven't been able to find it. So normally it does come with a footband, but me being me, I've knocked it. Now, I've been wanting to try one of these cigars for ever since it was announced over in the Habanos Festival in 2023. The thing that really stood out for me was the change in presentation. Of course, Partagas are famous for using red. Just go look at the Series D, any line from there, and Partagas are famous for using the red. However, here we've got the gold and the blue, so it's something that really stands out. And when people first look at it and people first come into the shop, and I've noticed around on the social media space, people think this is a new world version of Partagas, but it's not. It is still Cuban. They've just shook it up a little bit for this range of cigar. Personally, for me, I love the change. It doesn't look like Partagas, so I could understand if you walked into a Cuban humidor and then you saw all our line of Partagases there right in front of you. It's really hard to not miss with that beautiful bold red that you normally get on the brand. If you had this next to it, your eyes might naturally glaze over the top of it before you come back and realize that it is a Partagas. On the nose, it smells quite mild. I know the strength isn't, but on the nose it is. It smells quite creamy, quite light. Stereotypical Cuban tobaccos. It smells absolutely beautiful and absolutely stunning. What I love about these as well is I'm not a huge fan of torpedo shapes. However, this is almost like a soft torpedo. It definitely has that taper, but you also have that round top, so I can't imagine it being uncomfortable when placing in the mouth. And I absolutely love that. I think it looks absolutely stunning. The colour on this wrapper is beautiful as well. The presentation on this is absolutely stunning with some beautiful veins there on the leaf, and I love being able to pick those out. On the squeeze, the tobaccos are really nice and compacted in there. You can definitely feel it, but you are getting a bit of a bounce back, and that's what we want. We know Cubans over the years, people think they've declined in construction, they've declined in quality, and sometimes you do get a little bit of a bad burn, bad construction, plugged. But from what I'm feeling of this, I don't think we're going to be getting that. So let's get it cut. So I'm just going in with a straight cut today. And that cut through pretty perfect. We've got a nice straight cut on there. Now, because it is a Cuban, because it's quite a special Cuban, I'm not going to go in with a blowtorch today. I'm actually going to use matches on this particular cigar. We have had a recent comment on one of our videos of people wanting to actually see a more slowed down, in-depth way of lighting a cigar with matches, which we will have coming out very soon. So if you want to see that, let us know in the comments. And subscribe so you don't miss out. Now, I absolutely love lighting a cigar with a match. However, I can never get it done in one. I'm not that skilled. I'm just working around slowly there. Make sure we get a nice even burn from the get-go. Okay, that's quite pleasant. Stereotypical Cuban flavors coming through there. Slight bit of spice. Not a huge amount. It's kind of just teetering here at the back of the palate. That's quite a pleasant initial light up. The draw is quite nice. It's not massively open, which is probably stereotypical with the ring gauge of the cigar, which we'll jump into in a second. But the smoke is very easy to get into the mouth. You're not almost having to really suck in your cheeks and use your jaw to draw that smoke in, but at the same time, it's not so open. It's not like sucking air through a big, thick straw. That's quite pleasant. That draw is pretty spot on and pretty perfect for me. Quite pleasant on the retro head as well. It's very smooth. The smoke is very, very smooth for me. It's almost like velvet in the mouth. I wouldn't say there's a lot of complex flavors in the cigar. It tastes absolutely beautiful and it is stunning, and it's all those stereotypical flavor profiles that you'd get from Cuban tobacco. Beautiful woody notes that seem to be probably the more dominating flavor that I'm picking up out this entire cigar. Obviously everybody's palate is different. You might smoke this and pick up something completely different, but personally for me, those woods, those oaks, those cedars are really coming through. It's a very pleasant cigar. It's a very pleasant smoke, but I wouldn't say it's extremely complex. I'm not picking out 4 or 5 different flavor profiles that seem to be coming together like a recipe to produce the overall flavor profiles that we're getting. It seems to be very smooth. It's very pleasant. Now, the one thing I'm noticing is it doesn't exactly have the flattest or straightest burn. We are starting to get a slight dip there. What I'm going to try and do to combat that is place this longest bit at the top of the cigar when I'm drawing, and I'm going to take slightly longer draws than I normally would to try and bring that balance down. If that doesn't correct it and you have to go in with a lighter, that's the sign of a bit of a bad burn, which is no reflection on this cigar. It might just be this particular one out of that collection, but we'll see what we can do to flatten that out. Now, the one thing I absolutely love about this line of cigars, and there are 3 in this particular line of cigars, and we actually released an unboxing video on this channel a few days ago, so go check that out. I'll leave a link in the description below for you as well to go check that out. You can see all 3 lines. It's only about a 2-minute video, well worth the watch. They are absolutely stunning when it comes to presentation. However, they're kind of breaking the mold when it comes to this particular blend, where all of the tobaccos within the cigar come from the exact same region, the San Luis region of Pinar del Rio. So instead of going to this region for this tobacco, this region for that, this region for this, all comes from the same place. That is what's producing this full-bodied stick, which, to be honest, is what Partagas are kind of famous for. This is technically a Corona Gorda size, coming in at 6 by 1/8 by a 46 ring gauge. So I can expect an average smoke time with this of anything between 50 and 70 minutes. Of course, with this being a premium Cuban cigar, I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to take my time with it. It's smoking lovely. The flavor profiles are very well balanced, and it's not really full on, so I want to take my time with this and trying to stretch it out for as long as I possibly can. Now, the crater that we had is kind of flattening out on the side. It's not creating this huge dip like this, but that top bit still isn't really catching up. I'm going to carry on going the way I'm going for the next maybe 5-10 minutes to see if that balances out. If not, I am going to have to come in with either a match or a torch just to level that out. But the head of ash is absolutely beautiful. It's kind of like, it's not like crystal white, but it is very bright when it comes to grays, with these beautiful flecks of dark brown. And that's just a great indicator into the different chemicals, nutrients that were in the soil at the time of planting, which I think we need to do a full video on, of what your ash is telling you and how that ash is telling you the history behind that cigar. So if you want us to do that, make sure you hit that like button and let us know in the comments below. because your ash can tell you a lot. Absolutely stunning. Now, the thing I seem to be noticing the most about this cigar, as I've just probably come past just after the halfway point with it, and doing a little bit of research in between the puffs from the initial light up, the burn seems to be a little bit of a common issue across the board. What I've noticed is I don't think you're going to get a perfectly flat burn throughout the entire cigar. However, it does seem to correct itself over time. As long as we keep rotating the cigar in your hand between every 2-3 puffs, rotate the cigar 90 degrees, 2-3 puffs 90 degrees, keep the cigar rotating. And if you notice there's a big dip or a big crater coming in around the cigar, place that longer bit at the top and take slightly longer draws to get the top bit of that cigar and that wrapper that little bit hotter. It does seem to correct itself, and that's kind of what I've been doing throughout the entire stick. Flavor wise, it's been absolutely lovely. It's an absolutely lovely cigar. When it comes to that construction, that seems to be the only negative I seem to really be finding with this cigar, is you probably aren't going to be receiving a flat burn throughout. If it was just me, it might be something that I'm doing. It might just be this one cigar. It could be a one-off, but I've gone away and I've watched about 2 or 3 different videos in the break between the puffs, and it seems to be a reoccurring issue across the board with this particular cigar. But it does fix itself. So, but if you are going to smoke this, before you take the torch to it, before you take the pair of matches to it, just keep it rotating, take a little bit longer puffs, place that bit at the top, and hopefully it'll correct itself before you actually have to apply any kind of heat to that burn. It's not the most complex cigar in the world. It tastes absolutely beautiful, and the flavor profiles that you do get are really nice. They're really well balanced, and it's not overpowering. It's really nicely coats the palate, and it pairs absolutely stunningly with coffee, and I think it would pair absolutely beautiful with rum if I wasn't filming this video in the morning. But I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed the size. I really like a 46 ring gauge. I mentioned this in a video not long ago as well. I love the thicker ring gauges. I love the 52s, the 54s, 60s. Yeah, they're okay, but I rather have those 52s and 54s. But I also like the smaller ones as well, and that 46 really sits in the hand quite comfortably. I'm not having to force my fingers massively open. It's not so skinny. I'm holding the cigar like this, but at the same time, it almost becomes one with the hand. I'm not having to focus on holding that cigar. It kind of just is, and it's just there. And I absolutely love that. That drawers really stayed the same throughout as well. It's not really tight. It's not really open. It's a very, very comfortable cigar to smoke. It really is. The size is absolutely lovely. You're not going to be sat there for 2-3 hours smoking it. You got a nice solid hour to 70-minute smoke. It fits perfectly in the hand. The aroma in the air is absolutely impeccable. It's that stereotypical Cuban smell in the air, and I wish you guys could be in here because it smells absolutely stunning in the studio right now. And here's a great example of this. Is exactly what I was talking about, that you're not going to be getting an exact straight burn. I've noticed this throughout the cigar a lot. This will happen and this will occur compared to, say, this side of the cigar. You get that big dip. But I have noticed placing that longer bit at the top, taking stronger and longer draws, seems to be flattening out, but that seems to be a really common issue, not just with me, but other smokers across the internet as well. So these are still available over at Smoking. I'm going to sit back, I'm going to enjoy the rest of this cigar. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I'm really happy you got to come along with me on this journey of discovery. Honestly, this cigar has been staring at me out of my humidor for about 3-4 weeks now, and it's been calling out to me to finally light up, and I did, and I'm glad I did, and I'm glad you got to come along with me. Of course, like this video if you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button, and let us know in the comments if you smoked this cigar. Would you buy it? Would you recommend it? And what was your personal thoughts? Did you have a similar smoking experience to me? Let me know. We've already grown this channel so much faster than what we thought we would do, and the engagement we get is incredible. And that's down to you amazing people. But of course, we're not quite at that 2,000 mark. We're so close to 2,000 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button today, and I'll catch you in future videos. I'll see you in the next one.